Welcome to the Horror Basement, Tennessee Horror News Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Johnny Leroy. As always, we got our local horror expert, the myth, the legend, the horror man, Jim Jam, with us.
What's going on, guys?
And we also have a special guest today, writer-director Ed Sanchez. And Ed, we really appreciate you being here. And how have you been?
I've been good. Thanks for having me.
And so, Ed, you directed and wrote the Blair Witch Project, which, I mean, of course, is getting all the hype now, probably again, with the new movie of the Blair Witch coming back out, or the third one installment of it, I guess you would call it. Did you have any say in that, or is that just something that somebody took up?
Well, Artisan, which was the company that bought the original film, was bought by Lionsgate years ago, and so they've owned Blair Witch for a while now, probably 10 years, more than 10 years now, and so we've been talking to them pretty much all the time, but on and off for the last since they got the property about another Blair Witch movie. We've pitched them some stuff. We actually wrote a script for a Blair Witch sequel. And then when they own it, obviously they can do whatever they want with it, but they were really cool with us on this because, they didn't have to bring us in, and they brought us in really early, right when they hired, Adam and Simon. And, it was, it was good, for a studio, they did it right, with at least with the original guys.
Oh, that's awesome, actually. And so you got to give your insight in on it? Or
well, I mean, to a certain extent. I mean, really, for us, it was like they wanted to go in a new direction, and we were like, well, just go. You know what I mean? Not that they had to ask for our permission, but yeah. And we really did, and we respected in Simon and Adam. Greg and I had become friends with these guys through VHS 2, this film we did together, and we just really love those guys, and they're very genuine and very talented, which is important, obviously, and they really even before they were hired for this job, we talked Blair Witch, and you could tell that they were big fans of the movie. They dug what we originally did, so. When we knew they were in charge, we were just like, well, actually, we told Adam and Simon, I think, we were like, look, guys, we're here. If you need us, cool. If not, just we're here to help you. But we just wanted to leave them alone and let them make their film. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's pretty awesome because, to be honest, I just watched the film today, the Blair Witch Project, for the first time. Like, I didn't watch it back in '99. Everybody was like, "Oh, it's a real movie." Everybody thought that it was real, and I was like, "Give me a break," And then, so for the first time watching it, I really enjoyed it. Like, I'd heard all the hype about it around, at that time, and just I don't know. I wasn't into it, But
yeah, I know what you're saying.
And watching it, I was like, "Damn, that's actually a really good movie." People were like, "Oh, there's a lot of shaking of the camera and everything," but it wasn't that bad. I mean,
well, you watched it at home, you have a big screen.
Well, it's 45.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I think people, but it's not as shaky as it was in the theater. I mean, it made me sick. Like, I mean, every time we screened it, I always got a seat all the way in the back because it just, I'm just not good with that stuff. But we never knew that the movie was going to be in the theaters. We were just shooting this movie thinking that we were going to get a cable deal at best, or a video deal.
Yeah.
So that's why, it was so shaky. But yeah, man, no, that's cool because I know what you're saying. Like sometimes when something comes up and gets too much hype, I'm kind of like weary about it. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of like, I'll check it out later, or whatever.
Yeah.
After the hype has died down, and I've gotten to a lot of stuff after the hype has gone down, but yeah, it's like I mean the original is still an effective movie. I mean, you got to go in with the right mindset. It's not gonna be a special effects extravaganza, or it's not gonna have any sex. It's not gonna have pretty things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's it's a harsh movie, and then it's a documentary basically, So you just have to be really patient with it. But yeah, if you kind of give yourself into it and watch it under the right circumstances, the right atmosphere, it's still a really chilling movie.
I agree 100% on that.
Especially when they're in the tent and tent starts getting shook and rattled. Wondering, did you have any part of that, shaking the tent?
Of course.
Heck yeah. I bet that was amazing. Fun as hell, wasn't it?
That was pretty cool, man. I mean, it was like, look, man, you gotta go back to like when we were shooting in 1997. We were, all pretty broke, and this was going to be our last kind of hurrah. We were like, if this movie doesn't do it for us, then I think we're just, we'll continue to make movies, but this, we're going to have to get real jobs, and really concentrate on making a living,
Yeah.
So we had no idea, and we're like walking in the middle of the night, like at 1:00 in the morning, through these, this state park, and it's dark and it's kind of cold, and we have this guy like wrapped in we basically put we just put we wanted to make like a ghost effect on the film. We wanted to shoot like some kind of ghostly figure running through the woods. So we put this guy in like white long johns and he put white socks over his boots, and we just put like a white long sleeve shirt and like this white hose over his face and his hands. So he was just like this white not sparkly, but this kind of shiny thing whenever you put the light on it.
Yeah.
And on the way to shoot it, he fell in the water.
Oh.
And it was cold because he had to go over a log to get to the location. He had to go over the creek. And we were all like at 1 a.m. just going over this log, and he slipped in and got all wet. So he was really cold, but he was still cool, and he still wanted to do it. So we all kind of gathered around the tent. We approached slowly to their tent, and we realized they were sleeping. We waited to make sure that they were sleeping, because sometimes we'd get out there and they were still awake. We'd have to wait. Yeah, so we just went in and started, slowly, shaking the tent. Started playing these the sound effects of the little kids playing. We had like a little boom box. We started playing that, and started shaking the tent, and it was just freaky, man, to see them. Just their reactions was in the movie was more than we expected. It's just really, really genuine.
I guess y'all had the actors go in and actually camping and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they were camping out there for like 5 or 6 days.
Wow, 5 or 6 days.
So y'all didn't tell them that y'all was going to be coming up or nothing. So just to get the genuine effect of.
Well, yeah, I mean, they were all, they're all obviously very smart people. So they had gone, we had, during the audition process, we kind of had to give away a couple of little beats, you know what I mean? Because we just wanted to see how people would react,
Yeah.
During the audition process. So they knew a little bit of what was going to happen and stuff, but no, they had no idea as far as like the details. Like we had never played, little kids, playing outside a tent. And actually, Mike Williams on the, I think right away, like during the rap party, he told me, he was like, man, you have no idea how freaky it is to be woken up in the middle of the night by little kids playing outside. When you're in the woods, you're camping, and you hear these little kids playing. Like, it's just the creepiest thing.
Oh, I imagine.
So, yeah, I mean, it was, the actors were definitely acting. I mean, their performances were amazing, but we did our best to kind of, promote that, to try to help them, get these kind of genuine reactions.
I was helping my mother deliver newspapers in Nashville when about this time, it was coming out and getting all the promotion for it. And, of course, it was the Tennessean, and it had it all over the front page about how freaky it was and, just all the hype about it. And I was delivering papers with my mom at like 4 a.m. down hallways and stuff by woods. Yeah, that would freak me out just seeing that and then delivering them papers. So.
But did you watch the movie?
Oh yeah. I watched the movie,
or just the commercial.
No, I didn't get to go to the theater to watch it, but when it come out, I think back then it was VHS, wasn't it?
Yeah, VHS, and yeah, it was DVD too, but VHS was still huge.
Yeah, I I don't remember which one I watched it on, but I did get to watch it after it came off of theaters. But and I want to share this with you. This is my dad's thought. You know, he's an older guy. He told me it was a bunch of college kids on crack running through the woods from the shadows.
Yeah, maybe. You know, you never know.
But I think he watched it with me. Is what it was. I can't watch this.
Yeah, that's a good. You know, that's as good a theory as any.
But what I liked about it is the fact that, you know, you could scare so many people, and you didn't even have to show an actual character for the witch or nothing. That's what was amazing. Yeah, and we honestly didn't know if it was going to work or not. You know, we were just doing it because it was the only thing we had. You know, so it was the best thing we had, the best idea we had. So we had no idea if it was going to work, but we thought it was. You know, the idea that. You know, because we love those shows. Like, you guys ever watch the old In Search Ofs?
Yeah,
with Leonard Nimoy.
I think.
Yeah,
I think I have.
That's kind of what we wanted, what we modeled our movie after. You know what I'm saying? And then we just kind of eliminated the documentary stuff. But yeah, that was the whole idea, is just to kind of create this, you know, mythology and this reality where, like, the viewer could, like, completely escape, you know, think that they were watching something real, you know what I'm saying? And we thought, you know, that'd be pretty damn cool, you know?
Oh, yeah, and it looked, back in that time, I guess, a lot of people did think it was real because, it was pretty much let on, right? Like, that.
Yeah.
It wasn't really said, no, it's fake. Like, if people said it was real, y'all just kind of let it, okay, believe it.
No, Dan and me, you know, Dan being the guy that I directed and wrote the movie with, you know, we would do a lot of interviews, and we always told the truth. You know, we never even for a second, you know, tried to pull that off. But during the marketing, you know, they did hide the actors, and they didn't publicize them, and they, you know, I don't know if they said it was not real, but they definitely didn't say it was, you know, fake, you know. And all the marketing kind of pointed towards something real. And I think just people kind of, you know, they just believed it, you know. And, I think a lot of the people, obviously, early on went to the movies thinking that they were actually seeing something real. So that was, you know, pretty amazing.
I guess that's what helped with all the hype, too, is, you know, another thing that was crazy. 5 days ago, Screen Crush puts one of their You Think You Know movies about the Blair Witch Project, and I thought that was pretty awesome. Coming up to the interview with you, that we got to see that, and they said that even people were calling Heather's mom's house, giving them condolences because they think her lost or whatever.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
It was a little weird. I mean, that, you know, yeah, it got crazy. I mean, even before the movie was released, we had the website. We had a website, and we had there was a showing on a really obscure show on Bravo. There was a showing of, like, the mythology or whatever, and somebody tracked us down, and, like, a detective tracked us down and, like, was asking us questions, like a private detective about this case, you know, in Maryland.
Oh my God!
I can't find anything, you know. And this is before the internet, where you could Google anything.
Yeah.
So I think this guy had actually gone and tried to find the records in the library and stuff, and couldn't find any police reports, you know.
That's crazy.
So this guy, you know, he really got into it, man.
He obviously did.
I bet you let him down when you told him it wasn't real. I bet he was, like, upset.
Oh, absolutely, man, absolutely. You know, but I think, you know, the great thing about the movie also, man, is that the people that, like, got the movie early, you know, like, that were early on with the website and stuff, they kind of helped play the joke on everybody. You know what I mean? Like, they were in on it. You know what I mean? Those early people.
Yeah.
Because that was, like, kind of the thing to do. It was like, oh, this guy doesn't know about Blair Witch. I'm going to tell him it's real, and I'm going to watch it with him and freak him out. You know. And I've heard so many stories like that. Like, even when I met Robert Rodriguez for the first time, he was telling me that he got a VHS before the movie came out. You know, there was a lot of VHS copies running around, especially in Hollywood. and so he got a copy of of the movie on VHS, and told his sister that it was real, and like showed it to her, and she freaked out, like she would and she's still kind of mad at him to this day for that. But there's so many stories like that of people kind of just sneaking it under the radar and like being in on the joke, and even taking people to the movie theater, like, oh man, we gotta see this movie. It's real, yeah, look, and then just kind of fooling your friends into watching it and stuff. So it was just kind of that. It was just it was just I've said it a million times. It was like catching lightning in a bottle, man. It was just it was like an idea that really caught on, and people really embraced it quickly.
Yeah, and is it considered the first found footage film, or is there any before its time?
Yeah, no, it's not the first found footage movie. I mean, it's the first. They're called found footage movies because I think in the title of Blair Witch it says their footage was found.
Okay.
So everybody's like, oh, but we called it more like, we used to call it POV, like point of view cinema.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, because not all found footage movies are about found footage. Some you're just it's not about finding the footage at all. It's just about experiencing the situation with these people.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. Wait, what was the original question, dude?
He's asking about, was it the
original found footage? Like, was it the first found footage?
No. But there was a bunch of pseudo kind of documentaries. I mean, like I said, In Search of, that show was doing it, and also the same guys that did that show did movies like Chair of the Gods. And they did a bunch of like UFO stuff, like they were just kind of fooling people all the time with this kind of pseudo documentary stuff. But there was actually a movie that was called Cannibal Holocaust that came out, I guess, in the late '70s, and I hadn't seen it. Dan, none of the people that did Blair Witch had ever seen that movie because it was banned in the United States because it had a lot of animal cruelty, a lot of animal mutilations, like on camera animal mutilations, and it just wasn't the right thing for the U.S. audience.
Yeah.
But Dan and I are always like, man, we're really lucky that we never saw that movie because it really is the exact same premise as Blair Witch. And I think if Dan and I had either of us had seen that movie, we would have been like, nah, we got to come up with something else because that's already been done.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it was the same thing. It's like this documentary crew goes to Peru or some kind of some South American country like that, and to document like this tribe of cannibals, and you can imagine what happens, and then their footage is found and being I guess evaluated and like being examined, and that's like the exact premise that we had for Blair Witch. Like, it's footage that's found, and then we examine it as a documentary. And then in the end, right before we entered Sundance, we decided to cut out all the documentary stuff and just make it as the footage. But there had definitely been stuff that had come before. I think this is the idea that really got caught fire.
It definitely caught fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did y'all both come up with the writing of the story, and who come up with Blair Witch itself, or is it an actual legend?
Yeah. No, it's not.
Okay.
But a lot of people still think it's a legend, but it's not a real legend. It was Dan and I. We needed a reason for them to go into the woods. So we knew that there was going to be some kind of mythology, like a witch, or we were thinking of maybe it's a man, just to stay away from the whole witch thing, and we were like, what are we going to do, whatever. So we didn't know what it was going to be, but we started to develop this mythology, and eventually we landed. Okay, it's a witch. It's this woman that was kind of like the Salem witch trials, which was condemned to death because she was found doing witchcraft, and then the town of Blair, basically went dead after that. Like, everybody was killed on the township of Blair after Ellie Kedward, and everybody thinks that it was the Blair Witch that killed everybody. So since that time, there's been something weird in these woods. So, we started coming up with the mythology, and then one day I was, it was early in the process. I was thinking of like, okay, I was about to do work on a treatment, and I was like, we got to call this something. So I said, let's call it Blair Witch, and Blair was just a name of a high. My sister went to Blair High School. Linda Blair from The Exorcist was, The Exorcist is like, the scariest movie I've ever seen. So, it was just something about that name, and Blair from The Facts of Life. I don't know if that came into being, whatever, but, into the idea, but, I just said Blair Witch, and I said, we'll change it later, that'll just be whatever. And it just ended up sticking, and that's where the name came up. But pretty much everything else, man, I mean, I know that, obviously there's some stuff that Dan and, we came up separately, but it really was Dan and I, and then Greg Hale, who was our producer. It really was like this team of people coming up, and then Ben Rock and, all the crew that helped us in Maryland, and then obviously the actors. It was always like, the movie was always like this very collaborative kind of process. But, Dan and I worked out mostly just the beats of the, of the movie, pretty carefully, like it was like a 35-page, or I don't know how if it was 35, but it was like a long treatment, and it was like a movie script without any dialogue, because we knew the movie was going to be improvised. But and that was, so yeah, we put a lot of effort early on, and then once the actors, we found the actors, we just had to figure out, okay, how are we going to direct them, through this story, without with minimal communication with them. And so we kind of, that was the next challenge as far as production was concerned.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking the whole time watching the movie, is like, how did you direct them? I mean, with just, they're out there in the woods, and where were you guys at that whole time? Because you obviously you said you wasn't there, so.
Yeah, we were. Sometimes we were there, but most of the time we were not there. I mean, we were always nearby. We were always like less. There was always like a base camp that kind of that was near the shoot, that it was always manned, so that if there was an emergency with the actors, they could get a hold of us immediately and get out. And so we always had this kind of that security for them, and then. We left them out there, but we would basically give them little directing notes in these little like plastic little. Can you remember the little cases that the 35 millimeter film used to come in?
Yeah,
like those little perfect little things. Anyway, we'd put them in there, and we put these, and we would give each of the actors different directions, like. There was logistical information about, like, okay, you got to go to the, put the GPS here, put waypoint 5 in and go there and get there around 2:00. We kind of had to schedule them, and then we would have like character stuff, like, during this walk, you're really angry, this is ridiculous, you're lost. Heather won't admit it, you got to confront her about this, or you're going to be stuck out here, And I would, we'd always say, you got to get back to work, you got to get the gear back, like all these things, they're planting seeds into the characters' heads. And then with Heather, we would be like, you got to, just got to stay strong, you're going to get them out of here, you know where you are, whatever. And then we'd slowly start putting little, things like, oh, well, man, it does look like you're lost, Like we put all these little beats in there, and then and then the characters, and then the actors just did the rest. Kind of like took the ball and like ran with it, and did really well with the system, and just kind of flourished in the freedom that they got.
Yeah, definitely, because that's what I was just sitting here thinking is you gave them a lot of freedom, and you put a lot of trust in their hands. And
yeah. But they put a lot of trust in us too, man, because they were, they were in the woods,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it wasn't the typical film shoot, they weren't in their trailers waiting for, and during makeup waiting for the next shot to be ready. They were literally living out there, putting up the tent and, sleeping in nasty sleeping bags, and they were doing it. So the trust had to be there, and I think that's a big reason why the movie worked, is that that there really was a lot of trust. I mean, that was our main goal, our main thing was to make sure that the actors were all right, and as comfortable as possible, unless we wanted to make them uncomfortable,
Yeah.
So,
why did y'all choose Maryland to make the movie? What?
And really, it was logistically, I lived there. We had a little townhouse that was that was a good little base of operations for us. And the only other place, Greg and Dan, who were the main other partners, early on, they both lived in Orlando, and we knew we couldn't shoot the movie in Orlando. Like, Orlando just doesn't have first of all, the vegetation and also the history. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we, knew we were going to do it somewhere in Maryland, somewhere near my house. And then we found Seneca Creek State Park, which was just a couple of miles from the townhouse where I lived. Became the perfect location. It was like 2.5 square miles of of just woods, and pretty diverse woods. They had there was a couple of little creeks, and there was different looks, and it was cool. It wasn't the same thing over and over again. And also they let us shoot there. They were going to let us shoot there, and so it just kind of all came together. And also we just felt that Maryland. The mythology worked better in Maryland than Florida, if we figure, we're close enough to Salem that the whole witch craze. I mean, I don't think there was any witch trials like this far south, but it was believable that there might have been. You know what I mean? So just the mythology just kind of fit. And then we found Burkittsville, and that was the end of it. It was just the town that it's supposed to be, that's supposed to be Blair.
Yeah.
It was just a perfect little town, and we were just like, wow, that looks so cool. Let's use that, And then we didn't know that the people were going to come in and steal their signs and shit. So unfortunately, that happened. But yeah, it was, so that's why we shot in Maryland, a bunch of different reasons, but mostly just because it was, it just made sense on a bunch of different levels.
Oh yeah. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. All right. That's about the Blair Witch and all. So what are you working on now? Like, currently you're working on new things, and
yeah, I'm directing, some TV. I'm like in Vancouver right now, about to start an episode of Supernatural, and so I do that kind of stuff. And then I have we're developing a television show of our own with Stars, and we're just waiting to see if they're gonna go forward with it. They had us write a pilot script, and everything seems to be cool. But you never know. You never know when with these things until they happen. So we'll see what happens. And then we have a feature that we're working on with Blumhouse that we should be getting going soon. But just continuing to develop stuff. Low budget features, and so just kind of staying in the mix and trying to stay as busy as possible.
Sounds like you're staying busy.
Yeah. I want to hit on one thing, though, because me and Jonathan both are huge fans of Supernatural.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I love Supernatural. I've watched it from day one.
From the beginning?
Yeah, from the very beginning.
Yeah, I was, I watched a little bit of the first season, but then it just, it didn't captivate me, and also I was kind of the wrong age group and stuff, but now that I've been working on it, it's a really cool show, and it's a really fun show. Like, it's just they're always kind of doing new things, and it's just, and then and the two guys, Jared and Jensen, are just the chemistry together is just amazing. You know what I mean? And it's they're really good guys too. I already did an episode earlier this year, and you can see why the show's lasted so long, man. Is that Jared and Jensen really like are the center of it, and they're good guys, and the crew loves them, and that's a huge reason why the show's lasted as long as it has.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it keep on going because I could keep on watching it as long as they can.
Yeah, it is a fun show. I like just how they every once in a while they'll just do an odd episode, like it just
Like
it
the
don't
Wizard
even
of Oz one.
yeah, it don't even follow in. It's just weird.
Yeah, that's what I like about it is that they kind of they go off the rails a little bit, but that's what's fun about it. That was what's fun about X-Files. That was what's fun about X-Files too. Sometimes they just come out of left field with something. Those were the best episodes, really.
Yeah, don't always have to be so serious with
Yeah.
I want to ask you about the Exist movie because I'm fascinated with the whole Bigfoot thing.
Yeah.
How was it making that movie?
Dude, it was a lot of fun. I've been fascinated with Bigfoot since I was a little kid, and I've always wanted to make a Bigfoot movie. And as soon as we did Blair Witch, one of the earliest things that we were talking about, we're like, we got to do a Bigfoot movie. Yeah, we got to do a Bigfoot movie. And then I wrote I think this version of Exist was like the third Bigfoot script that I've written or co-written. Yeah. So I was obsessed with it, man, and I finally got a chance to do it. And I always thought that the creature, my problem with Bigfoot movies, a lot of them is that, it's a Bigfoot movie. So you're gonna have to show the creature somehow. That's what the people are paying for. It's like Jaws. All right, yeah, I love the shark and I love the suspense, but at the end, if you hadn't seen that shark, go up on that boat and and eat and swallow what was it, Robert Shaw. That's what paid off that movie and made it like the masterpiece that it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, if you're gonna make a Bigfoot movie, at least for us, if you're gonna make a Bigfoot movie, you got to have at least enough money to get a really good suit, made. And we got the best damn suit people in the business to build us our suit, and then we got the best guy ever, that the best Bigfoot dude ever, really, Brian Steele, and the rest of it was just kind of pointing the camera in the right direction, and just kind of staying out of the way,
Wasn't there more than one Bigfoot in that movie though?
There was a mom or a dad and a cub.
Okay.
But no, there was only one.
Okay. So that was I don't want to give away no spoilers in case no one saw it, but
did you see more than one?
I might be wrong. I'm thinking.
No, I mean, it's kind of, there are, like the scene in the cabin.
Because I was thinking the reason that did they hit one, or am I thinking of a whole nother movie?
You're thinking of Marietta Henderson's.
No, dude,
kidding.
You're right. No, that's kind of what you find out at the end, that they killed
its son, right?
They killed the son. Yeah, they killed the cub.
Yeah, I'm like, man, don't make me thinking I'm talking about a whole nother movie. But yeah,
and that's what we wanted to do, man. Like, we wanted to like not make it just this like killing machine. We wanted there to be like a reason for why the Bigfoot, was doing this. You know what I mean? So
that's another thing I liked about it, because it actually gave a reason why. Usually, you'd think they'd probably be peaceful and leave people alone, but
yeah, I mean, you figure if they haven't been found, up to this point, then they're pretty damn good at just kind of staying to themselves,
So obviously, you don't piss them off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I've always thought that, if they're out there, they're pretty damn good at hiding, so they're not going to like go and attack somebody for no good reason,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. We didn't think that, we didn't imagine that the suit was going to look as good as it did. You know what I mean? Like, because when you're, just when you're making a movie, you're always, you're thinking, you're trying to strive for the, obviously for the best, but you're always kind of getting ready for the worst, because, things can fall apart in an instant, you know what I'm saying? So, I knew that these guys that were building us the suit were good, but I was like, until I see it, I can't, I have to kind of hedge my bets and think, okay, what if I can't get close-ups with the suit? You know what I mean? What if I can't get to the face,
Yeah.
But man, once I saw, Brian Steele in the suit and we were shooting him, close up, just pretending to eat stuff with a camera test. Man, I was like, wow, man, I'm going to be able to get really close. And that's when it really got exciting, man, because I was like, man, I'm going to be able to get close. I'm going to be able to, see the face. So I knew I was going to be able to, if I could sell that little bit at the end with the cub, I thought, that'd be a cool little touch, for this kind of movie, So that's why we went down that road and how we pulled it off.
Well, yeah, I really enjoyed it, and that got me excited about it, because especially getting to see the face and all that, because normally you don't get to see it, because I guess all the other movies don't have that great of a suit.
Yeah, exactly, man, and that's kind of the big problem is that if you don't have a good suit, then you can't, you're not going to be able to show it, obviously, so you have to kind of do other things, and my thing is that I just want to see the creature in action, man. That's what I paid my money for, So we just felt it was really important to deliver that, to the audience, and I think we did.
And I believe I come across this movie because I don't know if I saw it on upcominghorrormovies.com back when I first started Tennessee Horror News, but I come across it, and I think I got it off Amazon or something like that and watched it from there. But
sweet, man. I'm glad you guys dug it. It's one of those movies, man, you gotta hear it with a good sound system too, man, because the sound is crazy, But yeah, it's a good little monster movie. I'm real proud of it.
I'm gonna have to check it out again with better. I don't remember what I watched it on, but I'll have to check it out again on maybe a surround sound or something.
Yeah, man. Yeah, the guys that did the sound are pretty crazy, and pretty just really amazing what they did with the sound. Did you guys see the new Blair Witch movie?
I haven't got to go see it yet.
Yeah, me either.
Just let me know what you guys think of it once you see it.
All right. Well, from what I've seen on the trailers, it looks like it's going to be. Well, we didn't get to ask about this, about the official Part 2 movie. Is that the official of the Book of Shadows?
Well, yes, it was officially a sequel. I don't know what. I mean, I guess it's still the sequel. I don't know how do you get that honor, taken away from you or whatever. Well, yeah, that was the original sequel, but I think this new one is much more in line with the original film.
Okay,
none of us involved not many of us involved in the original thought that the second one really did our movie justice.
I heard a lot of bad stuff about Book of Shadows, but
yeah, it's kind of it gets a beating, but and that's the weird thing about it, man, is that it wasn't a bad movie, I think Joe is the director is he's one of the best documentary filmmakers out there, and I don't think that Book of Shadows was terrible. I just think that it was the situation that they put Joe in, the director, in to deliver this movie in so quickly.
Yeah,
because he only had, I think he had less than 8 months, man, from start to finish, from script to release, 8 or 9 months probably.
You can't expect nothing good then.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. So, it was just a bad situation that happened, and unfortunately, it kind of killed the franchise for a little while.
Yeah, that's what usually kills the movie, though, is you forcing it, or the franchises, the movie companies want to. Oh, let's hurry up and force it out, and then try to grab the money. Get this money grab.
Yes,
and it's take your time with it.
It was definitely a cash grab.
Yeah, and people see that, and they're just like, "Come on, man!
Yeah,
don't do that."
Yeah, people see right through that crap, man.
And I think I read somewhere that the new Blair Witch that just come out is a remake of the second one, right? Or
No, it's
No,
not a remake of this. It's not a remake of the second one. It's and it's not really a remake of the first one. It has similar beats, but it's a movie that takes place in the woods, and it has similar elements and stuff. But it actually is a true sequel. It's a sequel. It's Heather's brother goes out to try to find his sister.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Like many years later. And it's definitely different than the original, very different than the original, but it's well made. And if you go in with the right, if you go in wanting an action-filled found footage movie, you're going to get it. If you went in thinking it's something else, you're probably going to be disappointed.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do that with movies, though. They go in with a different mindset, and then when they leave, they're like, "Oh, that movie sucked." And it's like, well, you probably went in with like expectations of it being something different instead of going in with an open mind. And a lot of movies can be ruined that way.
Absolutely. And that's what exactly. A lot of really good movies are ruined that way, and I think that this movie holds up, and I think it's a cool film. It's a good sequel to our movie.
Well, I'm glad they finally put out something that can be officially, I don't want to say officially proud of or whatever, but actually go and beat with the first one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, finally a sequel that kind of went in the right direction. You know what I mean? So that's our big thing, is that they they definitely did it right. So we're pretty happy about that.
Heck yeah, and also really looking forward to your or all of the episodes of Supernatural, but especially yours.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Yeah, man.
What's the? Can you give what the show's going to be, the name of the episode, or are you allowed to do that?
Yeah, I think so. Ours is. I think it's going to be called Rock Never Dies.
Okay. Which episode is that? And is it this season 11?
Season 12.
This is season 12.
Season 12.
I'm doing episode 7.
Okay, so
sweet. We'll definitely be on the lookout for that.
Do they do like The Walking Dead and kind of like only film half and then they don't take a break, do they?
I don't know. I have no clue.
They take no. I don't know how they. You mean like as far as like filming it or airing it?
Like
filming
they
sessions.
air like a certain amount and then they'll take a break and then film the rest.
No. They don't take a long mid-season break like Walking Dead. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they well, I don't know about Supernatural. Yeah,
well, I know they do like holidays though. They won't air on the holidays.
No, they definitely don't. No, they air the whole time, man, because they do 23 episodes. Walking Dead only does like 12 or something.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, so they have to kind of spread out their season. Well, Supernatural can do one every week because they have so many episodes. But, yeah, man. So yeah. My episode's a lot of fun. I can't wait for you guys to see it.
Hell yeah!
We definitely
I'm looking forward to it. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that is great.
Well, we really appreciate you coming on, and
Ed, we greatly appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no problem, man. Anytime, man. Or maybe next time when one of my movies comes out or the TV show or whatever, have me back and we'll talk about some more, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. That'd be great. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, my pleasure. All right, guys.
Hey, you have a good one, Ed. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks. See ya. Bye.
All right, guys. That's all we got.
Yep. I guess we out.
Peace. Like, share, and subscribe. Check out the Patreon, guys.
Everything be in the description.
Jim J man ain't got no blue shirt on. This little baby blue shirt. We got little baby. We love you.
Thank you for everything. Y'all are amazing.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank my mom, my dad. This ain't a speech, my bad.